Good evening, friends, and you are watching Weekend at 5 with me, Navdeep Kaur Marwa. A look at the top headlines of the day. There have been 17,522 new cases in community of COVID-19 today. Also, 696 people have been hospitalized due to coronavirus. Moving on, 28 people who were present at the protest in Wellington have also commuted with COVID 19. Moving on, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has today announced that Russian sanctions bill, which will enable further difficult freeze assets of those associated with Russia in response to invasion of Ukraine, will pass under urgency this week. In response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which has hit the headlines since last few days. Also, another COVID news: more centers to introduce rapid testing collection sites will be introduced in Christchurch, Wellington, and Palmerston North. Now, moving on to our interview section. We all know tomorrow is International Women's Day. Today, we have with us Ranjita Sahota, a person who has founded a Facebook group called Midlife Madness, which talks about empowering women and lots more. We speak to Ranjita to tell us what inspired her to start the group, her intentions, and much more. Welcome to the show, Ranjita.
Thank you, Navdeep, and thank you, Indian Weekender, for having me with you. Thank you.
Yeah, how are you, Ranjita?
I'm good, very good.
Okay, Ranjita, to begin with, wishing you a early International Women's Day, which is tomorrow. So tell me, how did this group came about? Why did you think of having a group specially dedicated to empowering women?
Navdeep, so it all happened during COVID times. I think during COVID, we all had time to reflect on us, to find what are our desires, our aspirations are. So I've been wanting to do something with the community for a very long time, but somehow it didn't happen. And then during COVID, when I was reading the news, I found out that mental health is has been impacted significantly during COVID. So
Right.
this is what inspired me to start the group. And when I saw the news, it said that mental health of the women is more impacted than any other group, than men, than children. So that is the reason I started my group. I thought that I had some ideas that I wanted to do, I wanted to implement. I am working with women in New Zealand for about 15 years. From last 5 years, I've been in the leadership role where I am empowering and uplifting women. Those are the teachers, because I'm in the early childhood profession. So
Right.
and all my teachers told me that I am good in it, and while they work with me, they feel empowered. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought, then why not to start a group and share my wisdom and my knowledge with the people around me and the community and the women around us.
Right. So tell me, what activities or what all does this group do? Do you have activities? Do you talk about what are the issues that usually the group talks about?
So we do many. When we started the group, we were in lockdown. So we focused more on online media, online platform. We do psychoeducational workshops where we
Mm-hmm.
encourage and empower women to self care, to self
Right.
regulate, and to
Mm-hmm.
self manage. Because what I have seen, that we women are so busy looking after our children, looking after the family, making a balance. And during this time, what we do is we try and we look for perfection. While we
Right.
look for perfection every day, we forget to enjoy the journey, enjoy everyday life. So this is
Mm-hmm.
something that I want to empower with the women today. Is while it is good to do all these things, but it is equally good to look after yourself, to self-care, to self-regulate yourself.
Right. So tell me, what does International Women's Day means to you personally, or do you think every day should be celebration of womanhood?
Definitely, that is one of the things. But when we celebrate something, we kind of make awareness, more awareness in the society. Yes, we know
Mm-hmm.
we have to respect women, we have to acknowledge, and we have to appreciate women in everyday life. But when we
Mm-hmm.
celebrate it, this is something that we can bring towards, where we can bring people together, that awareness, share that awareness, and share the
Right.
wisdom and knowledge with the people. So I
Right.
believe that it is really good where we can share the ideas.
Right. So, do you also plan to have activities with the group members, or I believe you had an activity to celebrate International Women's Day.
Yes,
So,
so we
tell me something
recently,
about that.
yeah, thank you. So we recently did it yesterday where we celebrated International Women's Day. We did with a bit of twist of Zumba and a walk. So where we all can come out in the morning because um, inviting women and having women having a group of women which is about 50 to 60 women or about 20 to 30 women is always challenge, because when we think about stepping out of home, we don't have to think only about stepping out. We think about making food at home, making our
Right.
children ready, uh, making the food ready for the husband, doing all the household chores. So we decided to do it. And sorry, oh, while I was talking to you, I forgot what you asked. I was
About the walk. You were telling me
yeah.
about the walk.
So we decided that okay, we should do the walk in the morning where we can celebrate Women's Day, because this is the time in the morning when the children will be sleeping, the husbands will be sleeping, and they can come out, they can talk to each other, we can share our concerns, our happiness, our achievements, our failures. So this is what our International Women's Day was about. And the theme this year is breaking the bias. So this is what we talked about, that yes, we are in the modern society, we are in the westernized society, but yes, there are many bias around women that we still need to break, that we still need to aware people about.
Right. So tell
Yeah.
me, if I talk about a vision that you have for this group, say a year down the line or 5 years down the line, what is your vision with this group?
The vision, I think, is more about women. It is the holistic development of the woman, which is holistically is emotionally, mentally, um, physically, because as I said before, that this is something that we forget about ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is about it, that empowering the woman to look after themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as a woman, if you had to give three messages to women in New Zealand, what would be your message to them?
My first message to them would be to learn to regulate their emotions and to reflect on their thought patterns. Because we women are overthinkers. We think too much.
Mm-hmm.
When we think too much, we forget about the things. We forget about our own selves. The first is whenever something comes to you, any challenges, reflect on yourself, reflect on your emotions. That would be the first message that I want to give the women. My
Mm-hmm.
second message to women is enjoy your journey, enjoy the present time. Don't think about what will happen in future and what had happened in past, because we do not have any control over those things. So that is my second message to the women. And third, I would say, is fixing each other crowns. That is very
Mm-hmm.
important. We have to understand that we are not in race with any other women. We all are together. We need to fix each other crowns. We need to support each other. We need to empower each other. So
Mm-hmm.
these are the three messages that I want to give it to the women today.
Right. Tell me one thing. What are your plans for the International Women's Day tomorrow? What are you personally doing?
I think I'm celebrating myself. I'm celebrating what I have done. I've got three girls with me, so I have all the reasons to celebrate Women's Day. I live with my in-laws, so I have another woman in my house. So we are five women. So I will be celebrating with life with these five women, these four women around me. I have
Mhm.
to empower. While I'm empowering the other women, it is important for me that I empower my own family. I
Right.
empower my own children. I tell them that what is life about, what is important for them, and what they should be doing in their life. So just bringing that awareness in my children and in my family.
Right. As you talked about parenting, and you touched on that, what would be a message to all the mothers who have daughters, because it says conditioning. We talk about conditioning, talk about how you brought up your daughters. So what will be a message to, and how you should bring up your daughters? 'Cause a lot of time there's bias when it starts from your home. So what do you have to say about breaking those biases that come when a girl child is born?
I think you've asked me a very valid question, because I am mom of three girls. I have faced these questions many a times. I've been asked because I've written, I do the poetry as well. So I've written my poems on my daughters where I've been asked these questions. But the thing that I would want to say to everyone is giving, is having the ears for your children. Listen to them, that what they are saying. That is very important. Sometimes we are so strong with our own messages that we do not listen to our children. We just
Mm,
keep our ears close to them.
mhm,
This is one of the things that I touched base in one of our sessions that we did, especially with the adolescent, with the teenagers. The parents were not able to reflect and contemplate that why are they feeling so bored at home. But if
mm,
you see, with these children, as a parent, we have hundreds of things to do at home. We have to cook, we have to clean, we have to prepare food. But with the children, they don't have anything to do. Their
mm.
friends is their life.
Right,
You have taken them away from their friends. Obviously they will feel low, they will feel down, they will feel negative. So just having those years for your children is really important, and
right.
making a balance between the Indian culture and the Western culture. Understanding your children is something that I would want to say, especially with the girls. I would say that is really important.
Right. But as I say, it's as it's important to teach a man. It is more important to teach a man to respect a woman, but it is equally important to tell a woman to stand for herself, starting from the beginning.
Exactly, but I really like what you said. But one thing that I am seeing these days, is, yes, we talk about feminism, but this feminism is going somewhere else. This
Mm.
feminism is turning into a toxic feminism. So
Right.
one must understand what feminism is and what toxic feminism is.
Hmm.
We always talk about body shaming, but when we talk to, if I have a 13-year-old, if I tell her, oh, you gaining weight, she would say, oh mom, you're body shaming me. But
Hmm.
we need to make them understand, one is awareness,
Hmm.
and another is toxic feminism.
Right.
Our children, our younger generation is moving towards toxic feminism.
Hmm.
So it is very important for us to make our future generation understand that yes, they have to stand up for themselves, but they need to understand what is awareness and what is right.
Right. I think that's a key message, and I think yes, it's a very valid message. And wishing all the women, I think they all need to celebrate themselves, as you just said. And thank you so much for doing your bit for the women in general.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and wishing you all and wishing all the women a very happy International Women's Day. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Nidhi.
Ranjita. Lovely having you. So that was Ranjita Sahota telling us what International Women's Day means to her and her endeavor that talks about empowering women. For all the latest news, keep watching indianweekender.co.nz.